Well, I've got a different one for you today. You know, sometimes things happen, and my wife was out flying her Mini SE the other day, and it landed in the lake. So what happens when you land a DJI product in the lake? If we stick around, I'll tell you what happened and if it ever flew again. So stay tuned. So it was a sunny February afternoon in Tampa, Florida. My wife took her SE out over the lake to film our neighbors putting in a new seawall. And everything was going fine up until... And then the ducks had a conversation about it. Now, if you'll notice a couple things. First of all, the camera is still above the water. Now, that's a little strange, isn't it? The only thing I can think of is my wife has got these 360-degree prop protectors on it. And I think it provided a little bit of flotation on there. Because if you noticed, the camera was still level even though the water was rippling and the drone was bouncing around. So the gimbal was still doing its job, still filming. So what did we do after that? Well, thankfully, we had a neighbor with a boat, and he was kind enough to take his boat out, pick up the drone, and bring it back in. Next thing I did was drained all the water out of it, took the battery out, took the SD card out of it, and hit it with a hairdryer for a while. Got it good and dry. And the next thing I did was try to turn it on. That's when the problem started. IMU errors, SD card reader errors, stuck gimbal errors. Nothing worked. But the motors would start. So that was kind of semi-good news. So I thought, okay, what are we going to do now? Did some research on YouTube, found a couple of people who recommended isopropyl alcohol. Get 90% or better version of it, wash it out with that, soak it in it, and you may or may not be able to recover your drone. So we went out and bought some 90% isopropyl alcohol, washed it out well, soaked it for about an hour, and let it dry overnight. So next morning, got up, connected the drone again. First thing that comes up, another IMU error. Thought, well, this is not good. But that IMU error went away in a few minutes. I'll say a few minutes, maybe a few seconds. And then I got a stuck gimbal error. And I turned it off and on a couple of times and still had that stuck gimbal error. So I shut it down, turned it back on again. And this time I went in and recalibrated the gimbal. And sure enough, everything smoothed out. And everything seemed to be working pretty well. So I thought, okay, we might be in good shape here. Took it outside, took off, everything went fine. Landed, shut it down, reconnected, took off again. Did that about 4 different times. And surprisingly enough, everything seems to work fine. Now I think we're really lucky. The lake we landed in is what's called a brackish lake, meaning it's a combination of fresh water and salt water. So that's some nasty stuff to have on a circuit board in your drone. But as it turned out, that worked okay for us. Moral of the story, don't land your drone in the lake. Nothing good can come of it. Now, I hope this was useful information to you, but I hope you never have to use it. But if you did like the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and if you feel like sharing with your friends, please do so. That would be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you so much for watching.